So for a book about productivity, this is a very interesting book to read. So this author has a really nice style of writing, and if you enjoyed his other popular book, The Power of Habit, and how that was written, then you will definitely enjoy this book. So this book takes us through a full process of getting a task done. So the first part of getting anything done is having the motivation of getting it done. So the key idea I took out of the chapter motivation is to focus on the big vision you have rather than getting stuck focusing on the day-to-day tasks. For example, you could never imagine someone like Elon Musk lacking motivation because he has such a clear vision in his mind of what he wants to achieve in his lifetime. I'm sure he has many daily tasks that he doesn't enjoy doing, but his vision pushes him so much that he said in some interviews that he routinely works 16-hour days for months without a break. And here's a personal example of a much more smaller scale goal. So at the moment I have a goal of writing a business plan, and spending my evenings doing market analysis is not exactly the most fun way to spend an evening. So to keep motivated, I often ask myself, what is the big goal and the big reason that I'm doing this? And it's those big reasons that inspire and motivate me. For example, I want to be my own boss, build a successful business, create something. I want to achieve financial independence. These are the reasons that motivate me, and they become linked to my current action of researching the market. So the first key idea in this book is self-motivation becomes easier when we see our choices as affirmations of our deeper values and goals. Okay, so now that we're motivated, the next step is goal setting, figuring out what it is that you want to do. So there's a lot of research on goal setting telling us that the key to effective goal setting is setting SMART goals. These stand for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timed. So the author of the book tells a story about General Electric, one of the largest companies on earth. So their executives boasted that one of the reasons General Electric was so successful is because every employee was required to write out their SMART goals. What the author concludes is that while SMART goals can work extremely well, they have their limitations. And the main one is that they become like a to-do list, and we focus on little things we want to cross off our to-do list, and therefore they stop us from thinking big. So the way to fix this limitation of SMART goals is to combine them with what he calls stretch goals. So stretch goals are large, ambitious goals. So we start by setting a stretch goal, and then we use this stretch goal as a guide to what our SMART goals should be. So in my example, my stretch goal is build a profitable and successful business. So then we use our stretch goal to fill in the different sections of our SMART goal. Is it specific? It's very specific. Write a business plan. Is it measurable? Yes. Is it achievable? Well, I never wrote a business plan before, but millions of people have done so before me, so it's definitely achievable. Is it relevant? It's relevant as writing a business plan is a key step to building a successful business. Is it timed? Yes, my due date is July 8th, when I have to present it. So the second key idea of the book is set stretch goals to spark big ambitions, and then set SMART goals to form a concrete plan to achieve those. So now that we're motivated and we set the goals we want to achieve, there's one more idea from this book that will really help us, and that is avoiding distractions and keeping focused on achieving our goal. So staying focused is really important, especially in today's world, where we are almost always surrounded by so many distractions. So the book tells us that in order to stay focused, we have to envision what will happen and predict the things that will distract us ahead of time. Once we predict what distractions will probably arise, we can, ahead of time, make a plan of action of how to avoid these distractions. So when I'll sit down to do my market research, I'll probably get distracted by Facebook. So now I can prevent this distraction ahead of time by turning on a Chrome extension, which is called Newsfeed Eradicator, which will eliminate my Facebook newsfeed and replace it with a motivational quote. I'll probably get distracted by emails. By predicting this problem, I can tell myself ahead of time that I shall not check emails, as I have an hour set aside in the evening to go through all my emails. So now I set an alarm to work on my market research for the next hour without allowing any distractions. So the third key idea is to predict what distractions will likely encounter and then make a plan ahead of time of how to avoid those distractions. Okay, so while getting motivated and staying focused are both very important, the key action step I took out of this book is about goal setting. So here's a quick separate study outside of this book for some extra reasons to set goals and write them down. So there was a study done many years ago. They asked Harvard graduates if they set goals and if they write them down and make a plan. So 84% of them, the majority, didn't even have any goals. 13% of them had goals but did not write them down. The last 3% had goals and wrote them down with a quick plan of how to achieve those goals. So 10 years later, they checked how these graduates were doing financially. The 13% that had goals were earning double the amount of money compared to the 84% who didn't have goals. That is a big difference because these were smart people who were Harvard graduates and were probably earning a lot of money to begin with. So here's the crazy part though. The 3% that set goals, wrote them down, and had a plan on how to achieve those made 10 times the average of the other 97% combined. So they made 10 times what the other 97 made combined. So this is all the proof you need that goal setting works. So the action step for myself and everyone watching this video is to set a stretch goal to inspire ambition and then set SMART goals as a plan of how to achieve those stretch goals.